You ever have one of those mornings where you just know, deep in your bones, you're about to have a day you'll remember for the rest of your life? Yeah, that was me, staring down a woman waving her cell phone like it was a badge, screaming at a police officer to get me off my own land. I'm talking about Karen, the kind of neighbor who makes you wonder if those "welcome to the neighborhood" cookies were actually poisoned. You know what I mean? She's out there, standing by my old pickup, claiming I'm breaking the rules by parking on my property, and the whole scene's blowing up fast. Now, let me back up a sec. Name's Paul Monroe, 62, spent my life working with electricity, building this ranch from the dirt up with my own two hands, raising my boy Ethan on this land. These mountains, these fields, they aren't just dirt and wood and hay, they're memory. And nowadays, Ethan's not just my son, he's the sheriff, the one who actually has the badge. So picture this, Karen shouting at the first officer who pulls up, acting like she owns the place. Before I can even get a word in, another squad car rolls in, and Ethan steps out, my boy, boots on the ground, looking between me and Karen like he's just walked into a reality show. "Dad?" he says, and I swear, the look on Karen's face, she turns red as a beet, the kind of red you only see when you catch someone stealing from the cookie jar. That's when I realize this is about to turn into a showdown nobody in town is going to forget. Now, Karen, she's only been here 2 years. She drove in from out of state with her SUV and her giant sunglasses, started an HOA, and decided her job was to fix the neighborhood. Problem is, her definition of fixing means my wooden fence, my roosters, even the smell of hay are suddenly violations. She wants my old pickup gone, my barn repainted, my whole life erased because it doesn't fit the look she's after. My land's 200 yards from her fancy gate, but if she can see it, she thinks she controls it. So this morning, Karen's down my dirt road in her little golf cart, acting like she's the sheriff, holding up a clipboard, snapping photos of my truck and dogs, telling me I'm violating rules that never applied to me. When I tell her, "Karen, this is my ranch. It's been mine since '87, and you don't control it," she just smirks and calls the cops. You ever meet someone so wrong and so loud? It almost feels like a talent. The officers show up. Karen's shaking with excitement, giving her version of events, but then Ethan, my boy, walks over, and everything changes. "Ma'am," he says, "you're standing on my father's ranch. You're the one who's trespassing." Suddenly, she's stammering. Then, as the officers start writing her up, we get a call. Someone's breaking in, near the back barn. Now it's real trouble. Someone's cutting my fence by the cow field. Ethan and his officer find a young guy, tool in hand, sweating bullets, looking over his shoulder like he's afraid of something worse than the cops. Turns out, he was told the place was empty by a lady with big sunglasses who runs the neighborhood. Yeah, Karen. She tries to back away, but Ethan corners her. She admits she might have suggested a shortcut. Now it's not just trespassing, it's putting my animals and property at risk. I tell her, "If you ever step on this ranch again without permission, I'll press every charge I can." Ethan backs me up. Karen threatens to call her HOA board, but Ethan says, "You're not getting warnings anymore." She leaves, and I'm left standing in the dust, tired and angry, but mostly hurt. I tried being a good neighbor, helped her dog out of a ditch, built a birdhouse for her. None of it mattered. But she isn't done. Next morning, there's a letter from the county, zoning violation, complaint about my land. Of course, no name, but Janet at the county office traces it to Karen's HOA account. She's trying to use the system now, not just her voice. I spend days gathering old permits, taking photos, lining up my defenses. And wouldn't you know it, she shows up again, arms crossed, threatening me. "You just don't give up, do you?" she says. I remind her, "This isn't your neighborhood, it's my land." She laughs, says, "For now." It's like chess, except she cheats. That night, more police. She's called in a complaint, claims I threatened her with a weapon. Total lie. They search me, find nothing. But still, her plan works. Paint me as a danger, keep the pressure up. The next day, a white government car shows up, zoning compliance. Officer Carter hands me a summons. Appear before the county board in 10 days. If I can't prove every last permit, they can shut down my ranch, maybe even seize it. All because Karen knows how to twist the rules. She wants this land, maybe for water rights, maybe for some developer, maybe just to win. Doesn't matter. She's out for blood. I go to town, looking for the old inspector who gave me verbal approval for a horse pen. Turns out, he's moved. The only record is a note in his handwriting, probably not enough for court. But while I'm at the cafe, the owner tells me Karen's been sniffing around, asking how to change land use, expand her neighborhood. That's when it hits me. She's not just a pain. She's after the whole property, maybe for a developer, maybe for herself, but she's pulling every string she can. Ethan and I pull in help from the HOA vice president, Beverly, sharp as a tack, and sick of Karen's games. Beverly shows us HOA minutes, emails, blueprints for a walking park, even a copy of Karen's plan to push an emergency public good order if she can get me ruled in violation. It's bigger than me. It's about controlling the land, the water, the future. Then, right on cue, my barn burns to the ground. Arson. No fingerprints, no video, but a flyer found at the scene says, "Future home of Cedar Trails Community Walking Park. Project contact, Karen Whitmore." That's her phase 2. She's not just reporting me, she's erasing me. Neighbors rally. Some bring food, some just show up. Beverly hands over blueprints. Karen's already tried to sneak them through county records. This fight's in the open now. But then Karen files a restraining order, keeps me out of the courthouse on the day of the final zoning hearing. It's her last play. But my son, Sheriff Monroe, walks into that hearing, binder in hand, with Beverly beside him. Karen goes first, making her speech about community benefit. Ethan stands up, tells the real story, drops evidence of harassment, fraud, and arson. Beverly moves for a vote of no confidence, turns in proof that Karen filed false claims. The room turns. Gasps, whispers. Karen explodes, shouting, but nobody's listening. Security walks her out as she screams about dirt and hay and chickens. The board dismisses all claims. Karen's ethics violations go up for investigation. The news picks up the story. HOA president removed after zoning scandal and arson allegations. She leaves town, head low, no goodbye. The barn gets rebuilt with neighbors' help. Kids paint Monroe Ranch forever. I put a new saddle in the rebuilt barn, not my wife's, but it stands for her, a symbol of what family means around here. One morning, Ethan and I stand by the field, coffee in hand. "You ever think about retiring?" he asks. I watch the wind move through the grass, smell the hay, listen to the sound of home, and I shake my head. Not yet. Someone's got to keep the bad people off this land. Ethan smiles, puts an arm around my shoulder. "You're not alone, Dad. So, you tell me, was I right to fight back? Was Karen a villain, or just someone lost in her own ambition? Drop your thoughts below. Who do you think really won here, and what would you have done if it was your family's land on the line? If you've ever tangled with an HOA, let's hear your stories. Hit that comment section. Justice or overreach? Where's the line?